Hello everyone, I'm Taha Yassir from the School of Sociology at University College Dublin, Ireland. Today I'm going to talk about polarization in social networks. It is a little bit tricky because I'm going to present to you a paper that we recently published in the Journal of Mathematical Sociology. And this paper is my first paper that has no figures in it, and there is no data in the paper either. So the challenge of presenting a paper that is entirely based on sociological and mathematical argumentation in 5 minutes is what I have in front of me. Well, you have to take it from me on many cases, or if you're interested, of course, you can go and check the original math in the paper. But let me show you first a few figures from other people's work. You might be familiar with these figures. They all have the same message, and that is our social networks are very much polarized, at least as long as we can observe on social media platforms. The echo chambers have always existed in our societies. These groups of individuals who are like-minded and very well connected, and they are rather isolated from the opposing opinions or people who have opposing opinions. However, it's the first time that using social media data, we can very clearly and nicely illustrate these existing bubbles of like-minded people. The coincidence of observing these echo chambers on social media, combined with the notion of filter bubbles, which relates to the fact that search engines provide you with information that you already expect to see, led to the formation of this opinion that social media are responsible for creation and formation of echo chambers. And based on that, some authors suggested that it is the job of social media platforms to break these bubbles, and they might be able to use opposing or positive algorithmic bias to make people intermix with one another. So in this paper, we are going to investigate this possibility. Before that, let me show you an interesting experiment though, in which individuals were exposed to opinions of opposing group, and then their own opinion was measured, and we observed that exposure to opposing views made them more extreme in their own opinion. So Republicans became more Republican when they had to follow a Twitter account for a month that would post democratic views compared to a controlled Republican group. Taking that, we built a model in which we start with a completely mixed population of reds and greens. But whenever we have a green that is surrounded by many reds, there is a higher likelihood for this green node to connect to another green. Otherwise, connections and rewirings are at random with no preference. You can show that this model leads to complete segregation, and this is what we expect from a pure homophilic network. However, to have a counteract mechanism, based on what is suggested in the literature of the importance of weak ties, we introduce a secondary mechanism. If a node is surrounded by like-minded nodes, but the neighbor of a neighbor is of opposing opinion, then we give a higher chance for this node to make a connection to that node. Okay, and with this secondary mechanism, we hope to overcome the initial tendency for creating isolated bubbles. Again, when you do the math, you see that even the secondary mechanism would not be able to stop creation of bubbles and echo chambers. Then we came to the last part where we want to see if a positive algorithmic bias could help. At each step at random, we took two nodes from opposing opinions and make a connection between them on top of the existing homophilic tendency that I introduced earlier. Again, you can show that no matter how much algorithmic bias you introduce, as long as nodes can freely rewire to like-minded nodes, homophilic bubbles will appear, and we will have, again, complete polarization in the network. So if I want to summarize, as long as disconnecting and rewiring to like-minded nodes is costless and there is no resistance against it, polarization appears and it's inevitable. And if you look at more successful examples of internet-based or web-based social media platforms, like Wikipedia, you see that the fact that people have to work together and they cannot avoid each other simply because the opinions are different is the key to the success of these platforms, and the main element that stops polarization in these examples of more successful social media platforms. Thank you very much.